Wait, Jackie Christie? The Queen of Chaos? The same woman who once turned a peaceful charity gala into an all-out verbal battleground just got sentenced. And baby, the courtroom wasn't ready. But we've got every boiling detail because this isn't just scandal. It's a legacy disintegrating in real time. And if you thought Jackie's reign of mayhem would end with a wine toss on basketball wives, think again. This is the fall of an empire. A drama so layered it makes House of Cards look like a cartoon, and it begins, as all great modern tragedies do, with a whisper. Shady tweets, anonymous blog posts, cryptic TikToks warning that something big was coming, and oh, it came, crashing down with the force of a televised trial, leaked recordings and betrayals so personal they felt like stabs to the gut. So buckle up, because this story starts with glitz, but quickly descends into greed, manipulation, burner phones, and a husband who might just be a silent puppet master or the ultimate fall guy, because Doug Christie, the NBA legend, the loyal lapdog on reality TV, turns out might have been more mob boss than mute spouse if the mounting evidence has anything to say about it. But let's rewind, because before we had handcuffs and court sketches that went viral like album covers, we had Jackie throwing an extravagant Malibu party that looked like a Netflix pilot gone rogue. Helicopters buzzing, envelopes changing hands, a guest list so classified, even Doug looked lost. And according to insiders, it was less about champagne and more about cover-ups. A calculated distraction from the real headline, Jackie's alleged misuse of her non-profit orgs, which, per shocking claims from a former assistant we'll call Tasha, were being used to funnel not thousands but millions into offshore accounts, all while posing as a philanthropist queen on TV, giving out fake scholarships while allegedly transferring donations into Cayman Island accounts like she was starring in Scarface, the charity years. And then there's the vanishing tax records, 3 years of no filings for her organizations, and the haunting fact that people in Jackie's inner circle began disappearing. Stylists, assistants, and even distant relatives ghosting the grid like they knew something explosive was coming. And boom, it did. When Jackie's estranged daughter, Takari Lee, finally broke her silence in a cryptic Instagram story showing what looked like a court document with the caption, "I tried to warn y'all," sending fans into a frenzy as theories swirled. Was Takari the mystery whistleblower feeding info to the feds, or just another pawn in Jackie's decades-long game of smoke and mirrors? Either way, the prosecution in court was ruthless, presenting 300-plus pages of wire transfers, shell companies, voice memos, and emails allegedly proving Jackie was not just playing the fame game. She was weaponizing it, using her celebrity to host fake charity events, pocket appearance fees, and silence castmates with NDAs so thick because court resumed with new evidence, fresh betrayals, and an FBI digital forensics expert who lit the match that would torch the last shreds of Jackie Christie's carefully curated reality star image, detailing how metadata from Jackie's devices, yes, the same laptops found in that mysterious storage unit, confirmed she personally orchestrated dozens of transactions, encrypted communications, and digital cover-ups that spanned over a decade, with IP pings from international servers, WhatsApp logs discussing ghost routes, and Dropbox folders labeled event templates that, when decrypted, showed fake agendas for charity events that never happened. And if that wasn't enough, the courtroom was rattled when Jackie's former financial advisor took the stand and declared she knew exactly what she was doing, and she did it anyway, testifying that Jackie not only demanded creative accounting, but once suggested inflating donor numbers to look more philanthropic for TV. And when he refused, she replaced him with someone more flexible. And speaking of flexible, Doug Christie's name was suddenly all over the proceedings, no longer just in the shadows, but under direct scrutiny, as prosecutors revealed a series of emails from Jackie to a mysterious DC Holdings address, which digital analysts confirmed belonged to Doug's consulting firm, and in one now viral email dated February 17, 2022, Jackie allegedly wrote, "If they trace it, you know what to do," followed by an emoji of a flame. Yes, an emoji, as if this were a game, and the courtroom gasped when prosecutors played a voicemail from Jackie to Doug that said, "Babe, if they come knocking, remember, none of this was real unless it has your signature." And suddenly the question wasn't whether Doug was complicit. It was how deep he was buried, and behind the scenes, insiders say Doug's legal team is prepping their own strategy, debating whether to take a plea or throw Jackie under the bus. Silence so thick it cracked through the courtroom like thunder. Because this was it, the sentencing phase, the final act in a saga that had stretched across reality TV, underground wire transfers, shattered family ties, burner phones, fake charities, deleted accounts, and secrets so tightly wound they imploded the moment they were exposed. And at the center of it all stood Jackie Christie, no longer the loudest mouth in the room, but a defendant in tailored black, her lips pursed, her jaw clenched, and her eyes scanning a courtroom filled not with fans or followers, but with prosecutors, bloggers, investigators, betrayed former allies, and a row of silent jurors whose verdict would echo louder than any reunion show rant ever could. And just behind her, the press was lined up like vultures, their cameras flickering like lightning, waiting to capture the moment the Queen of Chaos was finally dethroned for good. And if Jackie thought she could stall the storm with bravado, she was wrong. Because when the judge entered, the mood shifted instantly, ice cold, no nonsense. And carrying a 200-page case file thicker than Jackie's entire resume. And when the lead prosecutor rose to deliver the final blow, it wasn't just legal, it was surgical, recounting in grim, meticulous detail how Jackie had masterminded a decade-long operation of deception and theft, using her fame not to empower young women but to enrich herself. How she hosted fraudulent fundraisers, fabricated scholarship winners, rerouted donations into offshore shellcore, and paid off or silenced those who got too close, including at least 2 former assistants, a disgruntled ex-producer, and a former friend whose mysterious departure to Costa Rica is now under investigation. And with every name, every dollar, every falsified form, Jackie's mask slipped further until there was no glamorous facade left, only the cold, undeniable blueprint of greed, manipulation, and betrayal. And then came the moment that flipped the courtroom on its head. Doug Christie, previously silent, previously unwavering in his loyalty, took the stand. Not for Jackie, but against her. Because in a shocking 11th-hour plea deal to avoid being charged as a co-conspirator, Doug agreed to testify, and when he walked into the courtroom, stone-faced, avoiding Jackie's gaze, the collective gasp was so loud it drowned out the judge's gavel. And what followed was the most jaw-dropping testimony of the entire trial. Doug, under oath, admitting he'd known about the money moving, the fake consulting invoices, the foreign accounts, even confirming he'd personally delivered sealed envelopes to anonymous drop points in exchange for favors that he now knew were illegal. And when asked why he stayed silent, Doug didn't flinch. "Because I loved her," he said, "and because she told me we were in this together." And Jackie's face shattered in real time, her legendary control cracking as Doug's words condemned her more thoroughly than any prosecutor ever could. And suddenly, the Queen and her king were now on opposite sides of the chessboard, and fans online imploded, Twitter erupted, TikTok turned Doug's quote into a viral audio, and Reddit went nuclear, with fans split between sympathy for a man manipulated by love and fury at his betrayal. And somewhere in that courtroom, Jackie blinked, her lips moved, and then she smiled. Not big, not fake, but something dark and knowing, and everyone knew. This story wasn't over yet, because Jackie still had one card left to play, and it came just hours before sentencing, when Jackie's legal team requested a closed-door meeting with prosecutors, the judge, and the FBI. And what followed was 37 minutes of sealed courtroom that no reporter was allowed to enter. And when the doors opened again, Jackie's lawyers were tight-lipped, the prosecution unusually quiet, and suddenly, whispers began to ripple across the courthouse. Had Jackie flipped? Was she about to take down even bigger fish? Because the next morning, 3 subpoenas were issued to names no one expected. A former city council member, a celebrity influencer agency CEO, and, shockingly, a well-known reality TV executive with ties to multiple spin-offs Jackie had pitched over the years. And suddenly the narrative twisted again, not from guilt or innocence, but from who else knew, who else benefited, who else was about to be dragged under in Jackie's last desperate move to save herself from spending the next 2 decades behind federal bars. And while social media exploded with speculation, courtroom drama continued, as Jackie's final sentencing hearing took place under extreme security, with media cordoned off, her team stone-faced, and the judge, no longer patient, laying out the consequences. Jackie Christie was found guilty on 9 federal counts, including wire fraud, tax evasion, money laundering, obstruction of justice, and criminal conspiracy. And as the courtroom fell silent, the judge sentenced her to 18,